welcome everybody to our live stream.
We are the Water Street Blues Band, and this is Talkin About Live, coming at you every Wednesday at 9 p.m. for the rest of your born existence.
Holy Wisconsin, we have an amazing show coming up. We have blues rock great John McKinley on the show tonight, and we're so excited to have John aboard the Starship Water Street Blues Band.
We're really excited for tonight's show. We're really stoked, and we are very, very fortunate to have John joining us a little later. But hi, and welcome to Talking About Live, and we're your hosts for this little adventure. I'm Rob. I play guitar in the Water Street Blues Band, and to my left is...
Hi,
to my right, actually. Left.
Wait, where are you?
The other left.
I'm left-handed. I don't know.
Yeah, no. I'm Sylvia. I play keys and squeeze. That's accordion.
And I'm Paul, and I play bass guitar. I'm insane.
We're not going to argue with you about that.
No. And very soon they're going to be coming to take you away. So, so we've got a really great show. But before we move into our vintage vinyl segment, we have a Talking About download of our entire new album, Talking About. We want to give it away. So
give it away.
And in order to win the free download, here are the rules. Number one rule is you cannot be born in a month that has the letter X in it.
Okay, that's not in the English language, though, Rob.
Really? Okay. So rule number two is that you can't be related to any of us three.
Knowingly.
Rule number three is there is no rule number three. So all you need to do is, if you can guess this very skill testing question, just say it in the comments, and I'll be able to see your comments. And the first person who comes up with the right answer we'll get a hold of you after the show's over and get your contact information to email you a free download code of our digital download code of our new record, Talkin About. And if you're interested in listening or buying the record, you can go to Bandcamp, go to Water Street Blues Band on Bandcamp, and that's where our record and our first record is, Another Life. Shameless self-promotion. So what is our question this week, Sylvia?
Well, you're going to read the question off, Professor.
Oh, wow.
We're going to... There it is.
Up the chalkboard.
There it is.
Went to the chalkboard. Who is known as the founding father of British blues? I'll read that again.
Read it slower.
Who was known as the founding father of British blues?
I'll read it backwards now.
Okay, I think we got the question out there.
Okay. Sure. That is record time. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Wow.
Ding, 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 ding.
I don't know.
Oh, it's amazing. We have really good guesses. Let me read out the guesses
He's so
first.
excited. The professor's so excited.
We had one for John Mayall, which is probably what I would have guessed. We had one for Eric Clapton, which I would have guessed. Well, I might have done that too. And another guessed John Baldry. We had two for John Mayall. So I think John Mayall was starting to build up a head of steam, but I don't think he had enough votes to be able to flip Arizona.
Okay.
So the winner is, I'll give the answer first. I'll give the winner first. The winner is Terry Labatch. Harmonica playing Terry Labatch.
Hi, Terry.
Stagehand extraordinaire at the Kitchener Blues Festival. Welcome, Terry. Thank you for watching this show. I'll give you a little history on Alexis Corner is the name of the person who was the founding father of British blues. He played guitar and vocal, but he started actually off in the late 40s. I'll start at the beginning. Slowly, the earth cooled. Maybe, no, I'll bring it up a little.
Okay,
no.
no,
In
no.
the late 40s, he was a member of Chris Barber's jazz band, and in that band there was a harmonica player named Cyril Davies, and they formed a duo in 1955 playing blues. And then in 1961, they formed the Blues Incorporated. So it was Alexis Korner's Blues Incorporated. It was really sort of a loose amalgam of players that sort of came in and out of the band. And some of its members are, listen to this, Charlie Watts of the Rolling Stones, Jack Bruce of Cream, Ginger Baker of Cream and Blind Faith, Long John Baldry of Long John Baldry fame, and many, many, many more. But they also had Eric Clapton jam with them, John Mayall jam with them. They had everybody in everybody in the government jam with them. And in 1970s, he shifted careers from music and became a broadcaster for the BBC. So there you go, the little history on Alexis Korner, the founding father of British blues. So Terry, we'll get a hold of you, and we'll send you a download after the show or sometime tomorrow or whenever the votes are counted.
Congratulations, Terry. Terry, listen, next time I want a little more monitor. Just a little bit more monitor. And when I do this, it means more monitor. So let's move on now to my vinyl collection.
Yes.
And tonight, there's a theme to this. There's a real method to it. Our guest, John McKinley, is a native of New Mexico, Area 51. So we're going
He's
to
not from
unleash...
Area 51.
He is. He was born right in the center of Area
He
51.
was born in the center of Area 51. He was an experiment.
Well,
that
if
they
only he
did.
was here
Yeah.
and could me.
He was abducted. He was abducted at an early age and then released a couple of weeks ago. They taught him how to play guitar.
Well, we'll get that started then.
Ouch!
You can hear
Anyway,
it.
we've got a really cool record collection tonight to share with you. So let's get the first one up, Fluffy.
And
Now, one of my favorite records, Boston. Boston was a super group. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them. They were the main inspiration for Steven Spielberg's film Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The whole concept is kind of I find it stimulating.
It's very spacey, very spacey. Great
Yeah.
cover. This is one of my favorite. It's Jack Parnell playing drums on the surface of Mars, Trip to Mars. For those of you who don't know Jack Parnell, he was a very famous British band leader, big band leader and drummer. But little known fact for all of you Jack Parnell fans out there, he was also the conductor and musical director for The Muppet Show for every single one of their series. So let's have a big hand for Jack Parnell. Yay!
Yay, Jack Parnell. All right, and the Muppets.
So blast off, guys.
Look at these guys on their pianos. Ferrante.
Yeah.
I remember these guys on their grand pianos.
Dueling pianos, Ferrante and Teicher.
In zero G, Ferrante and Teicher. I spent a lot of my childhood listening to these guys on my dad's 680 AM channel on his Buick LaSalle or whatever it was called. I think this speaks for itself. It's all about gravity and the lack of it.
Yes,
Maybe you can-
Dwight. Is it Dwayne and Dwight?
Dwayne and Dwight.
Good. The good brothers who have left this world
I'm not seeing
in
this.
search of other life.
It's not space themed at all. They
It
look like-
is. They're in search of other life. And they found it. They actually returned to Earth and they came to Roswell, New Mexico.
Okay.
And they're kind of in this gas. They're kind of floating around in this gassy material, gassy substance, which I guess, yeah, you
looks
can
like
imagine
acid rain.
photographing that, eh? That's
think-
just right, guys. Perfect, right there. Let's
Yeah.
do a couple of more gas.
It's an acid rain cloud. That's what it looks like there. All right.
Sun Ra and his orchestra. Sun Ra is a very experimental jazz musician, way ahead of his time and beyond this world. He played very experimental jazz. Great players like John Zorn and other people came through his band, and that's just an amazingly beautiful cover. and it's the yellow surface. That's actually Roswell sunrise.
Yeah, that's the spot that John was conceived in.
Ooh,
spooky.
spooky.
Okay, pull out the good stuff now.
Sound
Sylvia.
effects coming from the green room.
Here come the aliens. There's nothing better than a B-movie science fiction, right? And a soundtrack for it, right?
Except that's
Tell us
not-
about this one, Rob.
Well, actually, Sylvia knows more about this record than I do.
Well, I know
Kim
that
Wilde.
it's not actually vintage. It came out in the last couple of years, and she signed this. So this album's probably worth a lot more than a regular album. But yeah, I think everybody's right. This is kind of has a sci-fi theme to it, and the music is how would you describe that?
Britpop.
Britpop. Yeah, it's
Yep.
awesome. Great record.
Hoochie Coochie style.
Her name is
Coochie Britpop.
Kim Wilde with an E. Oh.
Oh, these are friends of ours. Delta Moon, good friends of ours, Frainer and Tom and Mark, and this I think is one of their first records, and even though this isn't Roswell, this is Georgia, and these are the official vote counters this evening for the state election. So we're relying on these people very heavily to have a very accurate turnout.
All right. Oh.
Now, this is my favorite subject:
Applause.
music, science fiction, Star Trek. Again, I know everybody's sick of this, but if you recall, this took place in the '60s. This show was made in the '60s, and there was the whole sort of flower power movement, and they tried to incorporate it in the show, and they transformed Spock's Vulcan pinch into more like a love pinch. And watch what happens when he pinches the guy in the neck. It's kind of a sound of ecstasy.
It is kind of.
It's the alien who does it,
Yeah,
I
instead
think.
of-
It's
Ouch!
The alien. It's one of the aliens that does it in this one, but it is kind of weird. All right, we do have a clip of that, Paul, and it's.
It's Spock playing a very. He's playing on Star Trek.
Oh, it was Garth. It was the Eden show.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, he's,
Rob, can you play along with this? Actually.
I'll try.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, baby.
We're playing this song later.
He's adjusting the
Rob and I.
volume. See what he's doing? Just every knob. Oh. He's playing the wheel thing. It's like it's a guitar made by CCM.
That was awesome. Well, that's in for our collection today.
Yeah.
Well, that seems short. Didn't
It was short, but it was
Yeah.
fun.
It was fun.
It was fun.
So guys, we're monitoring comments. So if you have any comments or questions, please type them in, and maybe we'll get to them eventually.
And also to add to your collection, Paul, people have sent ideas in and even just sent you presents to your house so you get more vinyl.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happens.
This is all about the take. What I get.
Well, I think it's the exciting part of our show where we get to introduce
Ooh.
our guest.
Folks, we have with us tonight John McKinley, who is an extraordinary guitar player, vocalist, and has an incredibly talented family too. And we'll talk about it a little bit later on, but we go way back with John. Yeah, this is John when he was returned from his abduction. His Roswell abduction.
Hey,
He looks
so
scared and
young.
confused. Welcome, John.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, guys.
Cute outfit you wore today, but awfully, I guess somehow you went back in time. We do have a Wayback Machine on this show.
I like the suspenders. Good luck.
Yeah, it's very spacey.
It is.
Ooh, nice, nice. Good, great sound effects there.
Well, we were expecting actually we negotiated with your legal team, and they actually assured us that we would get the grown-up John McKinley. So, I think maybe if we could get Fluffy to take.
We didn't pay for the grown-up John
Oh, you
McKinley.
can't trust those guys.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, okay.
Hey, Fluffy, come and go and get John and bring him out here, please.
And meantime, we'll watch a little video. So.
I started playing music in high school, and it was during the time of the British invasion and all the rock stuff, later on Woodstock and all that. Some of the guys around the school were talking about this stuff called blues, and I took a closer look and I realized a lot of what I liked was blues. Yeah, it's called Dirty Nails. It is a raunchy.
Love this song,
Just
guys.
think ZZ Top meets Jeff Beck at the B.B. King intersection, you know?
And there's John McKinley in person, the grown-up one. Well, John, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on our show. We've run out of time. No, just kidding.
So, guys, thanks for having me on. I'm really digging this.
We're having a good time.
Yeah, and you really were born in Area 51, right? How close was your birthplace to Area 51?
Well, guys, I hate to do this, but I got to correct something. Area 51 is not in New Mexico; it's in Nevada.
Oh, really?
People always confuse it because north of Roswell is where the alien ship crashed, right?
Oh, that's
but
right.
Apparently, it was taken up north to Nevada in Area 51, and that's where they keep it. But anyway,
but
I
you were
was born in Roswell.
You were born at the crash
I
site.
have been to Area 51 rabbit hunting up there. I think I saw Fluffy, if I'm not mistaken. Because I recognize him right away, right? So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's the only one wearing headphones. John, so you grew up in New Mexico and you played guitar, and I'm sure you said you started off in bands, and the British invasion influenced you. Tell us a little bit about about that music scene that you grew up in and how you engaged in it.
Well, in that area there, you kind of had to, if you played rock and roll or anything like that, blues, you were an anomaly because they like country western in that area, basically.
Wow.
So there were a few little places just north of my hometown. There's a place called Clovis, New Mexico. It has a studio in it, and the guy that ran it was named Norman Petty, and that's where Buddy Holly recorded all his hits.
Wow.
And that was kind of the big stuff in that area. One of the songs that came out of there was a song called Sugar Shack. I don't know if you guys ever heard that one.
Yep.
Yeah, but that came out of Norman Petty's studio, and we actually bought the speakers that he had in the studio and used them for our PA when one of our bands was touring Texas. So most of the stuff that I got that was really blues was actually when I got to Texas, and because we had Johnny Winters in Dallas, you had Jimmy Vaughn in Austin, you had ZZ Top in Houston, and if you got a chance to see any of the acts like Freddie King or anything, they're Texas boys,
So Texas was the place that turned you on to the blues?
Yeah, actually, I was playing it all along, but I didn't know it was blues. I mean, I just thought it was rock and roll. I just, hey, I like this music, And then later I found out, no, it's actually blues is both a style and a genre. And so there's a lot that you can do with blues. It doesn't have blues in it. It doesn't interest me very much.
Yeah, we're kind of with you.
But I like all music, really. So one of the things that did happen to me is as I was touring, getting around, I got to get to a place. We wound up in Florida, and we met these people that had this really strange way of talking. It sounded something like this. A, A. And I'm like, who are these guys? And I met them in a bar. They were real partiers. They said they were newfies. I didn't know what that was. They said they were from Hesper, Ontario.
All
Canada.
right.
Wow.
So I said, cool.
You got
Anyway.
goosebumps over that. Goosebumps meeting
Yeah,
that.
well, one of those
Canadians.
girls actually told a band or a manager that was looking for a guitar player up here in this area. He was looking for somebody for a band that was a British band that was trying to put an album together there, and they couldn't find what they wanted. So she told them about me, and then I sent them a tape, and that's how I wound up in Canada. I came up to do this gig, and this I'll just show you here.
What was the name of the band, John?
It was called Lone Star. That's not the country band. It was a long time ago. Here's two of their albums right there.
Look at that.
I found these in a record bin in Austin because when I knew they were I was gonna audition for them. So I learned some of their songs. I went up there and did pretty good. Got the audition, but things didn't really work out. One guy in the band was really quite successful. Pino Palladino. We were talking about him earlier.
Yeah.
I think he plays in John Mayer's trio, and he's a
monster.
He plays with the Who. He plays with. He's all over Don Henley stuff. Anything that you heard in the '80s that had fretless in it, it's probably Pino, and he's the one guy that did something there. But I didn't actually stay with that band because, well, it's a long story. I'm not going to get into that. But I wound up trading gigs with another guitar player that came into the band, and I went and took his bar band gig, which wound me up in Toronto. And in the bar band was a guy named Steve Hogg. You guys know Steve Hogg?
Oh yeah.
Great musician. And
he's incredible.
so I had two really great bass players in a row: Pino Palladino, Steve Hogg. I thought, wow, these Canadian musicians are something else. But anyway, that's how I wound up here.
And then
Well, we're lucky to have you.
Absolutely. And then you made your way from Toronto to back to Kitchener-Waterloo.
Yeah, well, I was actually living here, but I spent all week in Toronto because in those days, I don't know if you guys are old enough to recall any of that, but bands used to play like 6 nights a week, in one place, and you'd move to another place and you'd play 6 nights a week, and you'd be home for Sunday. That was it, right?
And a
Those were the good old days.
And a
Yeah.
matinee.
And a matinee, that's right.
No, I remember.
That's how people became really good, doing that for years.
Oh, yeah. I was really impressed with the Canadian musicians. You guys had monitors. I mean, I was in Austin, and we never used monitors. I mean, like, you see those videos of Stevie Ray and those guys playing in those bars where they're next to a jukebox, like on a wooden floor, like a saloon kind of thing. You look at those videos, you don't see any monitors. I never even used a monitor until I got to Canada. You guys were way ahead of us.
Well, that's probably because of the British influence. I mean, eventually the Beatles and the Beatles they didn't use monitors early on. They were just really good. They knew how to sing, and they needed to know how to sing because nobody could hear. They couldn't hear themselves, so they just got good at it.
Well, guys, thanks so much for having me on here. I'm really digging this.
It's an honor.
I think you guys are doing a good thing too. I love it that we're trying to keep music and stuff live during this weird time of this pandemic, and
and it's really
you
fun
guys
to
have a
have
sense
you.
of humor. I love that.
Well, it's fun to have you for sure. We're very, very happy, and it's our honor for you to be here.
Well,
We're not doing it because of our goodness. We're doing it because of the cash. Because, we're expecting a large cash infusion.
Well, I like you.
I demand to know who.
No, I think we can get government
You've
money.
been skimming.
inventions.
You've been
It's
skimming.
It's his inventions. All those inventions. He's
That's right.
getting patented now.
So John, I mean, you've actually taught a good number of the guitar players in this region. Who do you list as your influence? Who are the guitar players, or even musicians that sort of moved you to pick up the instrument and to learn and to progress?
Well, of course, the British Invasion had so many guys in it, and you can just name them. The band when I'm talking about strictly guitar, the band that had all the guitar players in it was the Yardbirds. It had Jeff Beck, it had Jimmy Page, it had Eric Clapton. So those probably the British influence guys that made me want to play guitar. But I think you're influenced by your peers more than anything else. And there was a guy who's actually, he fits in with this alien thing too, right? His name is. You can look him up. You can look him up on the internet. Yeah, he just passed away about a year and a half ago. His name was Jose Escamilla. He was the lead guitar player in the band that I joined in Roswell, and he did this whole thing about aliens and stuff later on in life, you know. But he taught me a lot. I just watched the way he played. The way Hendrix plays, the bar chord with the thumb, and all kinds of little lead guitar player things that you do if you play that kind of stuff, right? That was probably one of the biggest influences I had.
On that note,
well, I know you're also a huge Miles Davis fan. You and I have talked about Miles for forever, but maybe we'll save that one. We'll have you back. Maybe you and I will
Miles-a-thon?
We'll do a Miles
that'd be
Davis-a-thon.
I can get my Miles voice on. Yeah, you understand?
John, would you like to sing us a tune?
I'd love to.
And
here's a song that it's a blues, and it's called "Lose the Hat."
all right.
And I'm not. I hope I don't offend anybody, but
if Paul hasn't done it
I
already.
just came out of an argument with a guy, with me, back and forth, and so that's what this is about.
Okay.
And if you fit into this category, I apologize, but it's the way it goes. Well, I won't call you Baldy if you won't call me fat. No, I won't call you Baldy if you don't call me fat. I tell you what, I lose some weight. Why don't you lose a hat? Last thing I'd like to be is politically correct. You know, down in my hood, none of us are politically correct. You gotta say what you mean. A man's gotta earn his respect. If he don't kill you, it can only make you stronger. I said if it don't kill you, I believe it'll only make you stronger. Well, I may not be the first in line, but I'll be the man who lasts longer. You know what I mean by that. Well, my mama done raised me once. Girl, you ain't gonna do it again. I'm not afraid to hurt someone if I can save a friend. Cause if you get me into your game, you know I play to win. If you don't call me Baldy, then I won't call you back. You don't call me fat, I won't call you Baldy. I tell you what, I'll lose some weight. Why don't you lose a hat? Come on, finish the song, brother.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. That was wonderful. That's your tune?
Yeah, that's my tune.
That's awesome. We'll have to rip it off.
Well, be my guest. I ripped some stuff off for that.
That's a great song.
Look at this. We even have your website up there.
Yeah, we do. So if you want to, if you're not familiar with John and you want to learn more about John, make sure you go to his website. Not now. Wait till the show's over. But go to johnmckinleyband.com. And on that website, you'll be able to find out more about John and more about what he's doing, what he's done in the recent past, and it's a really cool site.
Yeah, and speaking of what you're doing and how we actually met, John, was you being the jam master, kind of the heartbeat of the blues jam or music jam in general, and wonder how that all started.
Well, I needed a gig. And Mel had come to town already. And they were doing the thing at the Pop the Gator.
Right.
And this one bar owner, it's not around anymore, so it was called The Edge. He said, hey, why don't you start a jam on a different night? They were on Wednesday, so we started ours on Tuesday. And I thought, good, another chance to play, another chance to make $100,
Right.
So I did that, and it just kind of worked out pretty good, and then that jam moved from bar to bar to bar, and wound up at the Heather Hotel up on the deck. And just about that time, these young kids were coming out, just like, I'm talking 10, 11, 12, and they wanted to know if they could get up and play. So I let them get up and play. And then one of the dads kept bugging me, saying, hey, can you give my kid lessons? I said, I don't teach. I used to give my people that asked me that to somebody else, right? Because I didn't know how to teach really. But this guy kept bugging me. So I said, okay, I'll just show them what I know. And it seemed to work pretty good. So after that, started getting all these guys, playing guitar. And it was a good thing. I learned just by accident that if you have a place to play, like something to do, like a place for them to do it, they learn so much faster, and they just get more out of it. So
well, that's
it
great.
worked out it was a real grassroots thing that happened.
There's a lot of players in this town, in this region, who went through the school of John McKinley. There was two schools. There was the Mel School and there was the John McKinley School. And they were both really good schools to go through. So we're blessed to have you in this community and to have that influence on so many young players.
Did you do blues in the schools also?
Yeah, thanks to the Grand River Blues Society and the Kitchener Blues Festival people, they get sponsors to fund me going into schools, and we see a lot of kids. We they hold an assembly, and I try to show them a little bit about blues, what it's about, try to relate it to the music they're listening to, and they're always really receptive, and they usually get, oh yeah, I see where that sound's coming from. They realize that Beyonce's singing blues licks, and and that a lot of the stuff that they're listening to has pentatonic scales and even some of the same chord structure. So it's kind of fun to do that, and out of that, I usually promote that we have a blues camp for kids right before the blues festival, that they can all come out and join if they play, piano, guitar, drums, trumpet, trombone, bass, sing, and we get a lot of the kids there, and a lot have been through that, and some of them are now performing. They've chosen that as a career.
I think did Matt Weiniger go through that? Yeah, I think he came out of that. I think Avalon Bridger came out of that. There's a number of Alicia Brilla came through that route.
Yeah.
There's amazing young players in this community who have made really strong statements in the music world, and you've had a big influence on them, John.
Yeah, Joshua David was I taught him, and Alex Price, who was Alex Antonelli before, right? And Connor Gaines, just a lot of those guys, right?
Oh yeah, and they're all making big splash for themselves. So that's something to be really proud of. That's a real legacy.
John, you have a very musical family too. Tell us a little bit about what you taught them.
Well, like I said a while ago, when I first got to Canada, I was in that one English band that had Pino Palladino in it, and he's played with everybody, right?
Yep.
And then I got in the bar band right after that. It had Steve Hogg in it, and Steve Hogg's one of the best Canadian musicians there is. He played with the Ian Thomas band. He played with Lulu's Roadhouse band, and he's on a lot of albums, right? He's a really good studio guy. And so I just got used to good bass players. So I figured, well, I better grow my own because I couldn't find what I was looking for, right? I got kind of spoiled
Oh,
right
my
away.
God.
Grow your own.
So I have two. I have two sons that play bass. They also play guitar and drums, was something I've never played. But one of them's Darius, that you guys know, Darius McKinley.
Yeah.
He's been with a lot of bands. I think he was with the original bass player in Daddy Longlegs a long time ago, and with many other bands. Matt Whitinger's first band when he started getting noticed, and the Miker band, and he plays on recordings all the time. And then my younger son, Donovan McKinley, he's playing with Dylan Wickens right now, and he's played with Alicia Brilla, and he's played with Alex Price and Connor Gaines. He's these guys, they all kind of know each other. So yeah, my boys are doing pretty good. So right now nobody's playing much. If you notice, there's not many bands playing. It's all solo stuff because they're afraid of us, speaking or singing too moistly.
Yeah. It's also the economics. It's the economics of what people can afford to have these days, right?
Right, and I mean, we're really lucky because we started a jam at the jazz room back at the Heather Hotel, but in the jazz room this time. I used to play it when it wasn't the jazz room, when it had a stage and a pole, and
we did too, and they used to have to clean the pole and the mirror before the band got up.
Yeah, it had all these. Well, I won't get into that.
Little rugs.
No.
Yeah.
But anyway, now it's the jazz room, and they're working with us. Where they and the BIA are helping us out because that's just, you're right about that, Paul. They what are they going to do? They can only put half the capacity in there. How are they going to make money at that and still pay a band? And we're all working together to try and put that jam out there. We have a jam going every Tuesday, or not every, but every other Tuesday. And it seems to be working pretty good, Hopefully things will come around where we can play every week, and we're
so looking forward to that. Sign us up for that vaccine. We really want to bust loose and play live again.
We have the microphones. They're measured. They're exactly the right distance. We're far enough from the audience that we can't get anything on them. You have to clean your hands when you walk in the front door. You have to clean them again before you get on stage. If you're not singing, you have to wear a mask.
Right.
We spray the drums down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every time we really working to do that, and everybody's
wonderful, John.
doing it.
Well, one thing I did want to ask, though, John, before we run out of time, is you were the first act on the stage at the Blues, Brews, and Barbecues. You were the actual first person to set foot on stage and play a chord on a guitar for that festival. In 2000,
that was really cool. I'm glad that happened. Thanks to you. I believe you suggested that they get us for that. You guys were on there too. In fact, I don't know if you all know this, but I've got a poster here. This is the original poster
Oh,
from that.
From
And
this.
Wow.
Wow.
a little bit closer to the camera here.
yeah.
You can see that we're right here at the time we were called McKinley Brown because I had another guy in the band named Brown.
Yeah.
And then 3 acts after us is Water Street Blues Band right there. You guys.
All right.
And then Mel's after you, and there were 8 acts. It was one day. It was from 12 noon to 9:30 p.m.
Cool.
That was the very first
Had
one.
so much fun. They said, let's do it again next year. And so we did, and we did it, we did it for 19 years, and then a little bit of an interruption. We'll hopefully they'll get back for the 20th anniversary next year.
We
Yeah,
should.
that would have been this year, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would have been 20th anniversary this year. But you know what? It's all right. You can have the 20th anniversary next year.
Yeah.
Why not?
I wrote. It's called "Thank You for Being You," It's kind of a mushy thing, I guess. It's for my wife.
Aw.
I wrote it for her for her anniversary a few years ago.
Hey,
And
Monica.
She watching? Hi, Monica.
yeah, Monica's watching, and it's she's a wonderful. We're really made for each other. So I have a fantastic relationship, and I'm one of those really lucky people. I came to Canada for a gig, but I stayed here in Canada because of her. And that's true. She's a Waterloo girl, born and raised, and she hates it when I go on about her, so I'll stop talking. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being true. Thank you for being you. Well, I got some magic right here in my hand. Every good woman should have a good man. I know it sounds simple, too easy to do, but it's a simple truth in life, girl. Wind up being true. Thank you for being you. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for making home the only place to be. Thank you for having courage standing by my side. Thank you for being true. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being true. Thank you for being you. You need a little courage somewhere in your life. Well, all that I'm missing, I found in my wife. And when I fall short, she bridges the gap. I never feel threatened, 'cause that's just a trap. Thank you for being you. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for making home the only place to be. Thank you for having courage standing by my side. Thank you for being true. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being true. Thank you for being you. Here's a little wisdom, some friendly advice. Put your faith in each other, never think twice. I know it sounds simple, too easy to do, but it's a simple truth in life, girl. Wind up being true. Thank you for being you. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for making home the only place to be. Thank you for having courage standing by my side. Thank you for being true. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being true. Thank you for being you.
beautiful, John. You're the real
Thank
deal,
you.
man. You're the real deal.
Well, you can get it on iTunes, and you can also go to my website, johnmckinleyband.com, and you can buy it there, or you can approach one of the band members. We're pretty simple. We keep it that way. Those are the three places you can get it at.
Perfect.
One of the other projects you're working on is Tributo Santana.
Yeah, it's the name of the band is Supernatural Tributo Santana, or Santana if you're from Texas.
Santana.
And it's basically a tribute to Santana, and I've got three guys. Two of them one's from El Salvador, one's from Guatemala, and another's from Chile, I believe. And they're the real thing. They're the percussionists. They know what's going on. And I put a band together. Darius, my son's on bass in there,
bass.
and it's a really nice thing to play. People love it. They just dance around and they have fun, and we do a pretty good job of it. So,
Well, how could they not? I mean, we've heard the band several times, and it's just kick ass. So, we're gonna play a little video that when Fluffy escorts you to the green room. But I think Paul's got some business he needs to take care with you first. It's a little matter of your contract and the rider you negotiated.
Yeah, so John, we just got the fax in. We're one of the few bands that still has a fax machine. This is from your solicitor in the United States, and this is highly unusual, but Fluffy will be taking you now back to the green room, and you have specifically requested 4 short people dressed as aliens with a vat of oil-based creams, and we're going to stage a fake abduction.
I'll feel at home then.
Yeah, enjoy yourself, and we'll see you after the show. We're going to do an after show party, and we'd like you to tell us all about it if you're awake.
Good.
Thanks so much for
Thanks,
joining
John.
us,
Thank you for being with us.
You're great, John.
Yay.
All the best, man. All the best. Lots of love.
All right.
Yeah,
thank
be
you.
cool, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
You too, man.
And here they are, Supernatural.
Tributo Santana.
This is wicked.
The name of the band is Supernatural Tributo Santana, which in Spanish means a tribute to Santana. Everybody has to dance. They can't just sit down and listen to it. You got to get into it, you know.
That was wonderful. That was wonderful.
Hey, we got busy dancing to the music.
We were
That was
dancing.
great.
We were
What a
dancing.
great-
Paul, why don't you grace us with a tune?
No,
Okay,
that was abrupt.
It's
Don't
a
you
hard
think
act to
so?
follow there,
I
but
know.
I don't think I've ever heard you sing
I think
before.
I'm going to announce that we've got a new original, and Water Street original. I'm going to play it tonight. It's kind of a demo version of it, and this one's called "Get Lost in Your Love." We played. It's called "Get Lost in Your Love." We've played. John's played a few really melodic tunes, so this is a bit of a melodic tune too. Can't remember loving anyone but you. Can't recall another lover anywhere. You leave me hanging and there's nothing I can do. Just love. I get lost inside of you. I get lost inside your loving for me. Love you forever, love you whenever, love you today. Love you forever, love you whenever, love you today. Don't you go away, don't you go away. Do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. There is no reason to get down on my knees. There is no jealousy. Loving days like these, you hold the key. I never doubted your loving for me. I get lost inside your love. I get lost inside of you. I get lost inside your loving for me. Love you forever, love you whenever, love you today. Love you forever, love you whenever, love you today. Don't you go away, don't you go away.
In the cool of the evening when everything is feeling kind of groovy, you know I call you up just to see if you would like to catch a movie. You say no, you've got plans for the night, and then you smile and say alright. Well, love is kind of crazy with a spooky little boy like you. Ooh, you're spooky. Yeah, you're spooky. You always keep me guessing, and I never ever know what you are thinking. And if some woman comes along, you can be sure that your eye will be a winking. Get so confused, I don't know where I stand. Then you smile and take my hand. Well, love is kind of crazy when you're spooky. Yeah, spooky. this little game that you are playing. You know I'll tell you all the things that my heart's been dying to be saying. Just like a ghost, you step out of my dream. Then I find you're not what you seem. Love is kinda crazy. 'Cause you're spooky. Yeah, you're spooky. Spooky little crazy little boy like you. Spooky little crazy little boy.
I think we've run out of time, guys. We have about another 45 minutes worth of material. We'll save it for next week. I'd like to say thank you to our guest, John McKinley, and beautiful music, great original material.
I think it's time to pack
All
up.
right, just like the old
But
days.
before we pack up, maybe we should talk about who our guest will be next week.
Okay.
So next week, please tune in to Talkin About Live, and our guest will be, drum roll, I wish I had the sound effect for that, Shane and Stacy Lee Gousset of the Western Swing Authority Honky Tonk Cocktail Hour right here on Talkin About
just
Live.
It's fantastic. We get to do a cocktail hour then. That's perfect.
We get to do a cocktail hour. I never drink during the show.
No, we have to.
For legal reasons. We're legally
Cheers.
prohibited.
Whatever you've got there.
But we're so lucky we have Shane and Stacy Lee next week. So please join us next week at 9 o'clock on Wednesday, as always. But I think it's time to pack up now. It's getting
Yes.
late.
All right, let's do it.
Back her up. Back her up.
Let's do it. Wow.
That's the taco.
That's the taco.
And don't forget, you do have the live jam. You can pack up for the live jam there. Is it Tuesday night, John?
Yes, Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, jazz room.
Oh, there's Sniffy.
There's
Fluffy.
Fluffy. We're the Water Street Blues Band, and this has been Talkin About Live, coming at you every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Next Wednesday, our guests will be Shane and Stacy Lee from the Western Swing Authority and the Honky Tonk Cocktail Hour. We're really looking forward to that show. Join us next week. Thanks for joining us this week. Bye from all of us. Say bye, Paul.
Bye-bye. Love you. Be well, everybody. Think of me.
Say bye, Sylvia.
Bye, Sylvia.
Bye, Sylvia. Say bye, Rob. Bye, Rob.
Say goodbye, John.
Bye, John.
Good night.
Till next week, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.